These are the ones that I love. Then I got a lot of my fans that they just crave. But then I got some people who just say, man, I don't care about that. I don't care nothing about emulation, modding, retro gaming, anything. Screw all of that. I don't care. Well, guess what? Oh, people like me do. I care. I really care. Right? And this is one that I was happy. I was so damn happy to hear. And when I seen it, I said, oh, I love when these drop. So let's go ahead and talk about it. So Obliteration is a PlayStation 4 emulator that's going to be released. Okay, if not already released. I believe it's actually already released because we're going to go through the actual article that I was reading. But Obliteration will be a PlayStation 4 emulator to run on Windows and Linux-based systems. This is big because a lot of people do not have the money to be able to afford a PlayStation 4 Pro or a powerful console system, and at the same time afford a very powerful mega gaming PC. The PC costs a lot of money to build, especially with today's day and age. You guys seen the prices of those 4090s coming? Prepare seller gains for the age of 2,200 or more CPUs, the age of $400 CPUs. Like, we're going to get to an age where it's going to get bad. And there are some gamers who are relying on consoles only. But there are those people who want not only a console, but they want more. So they want the best of both worlds. That's where these emulators tie in perfectly. They allow people to be able to enjoy titles that they probably would not have enjoyed otherwise. And, you know, some people say, hey, it's going to be illegal, right? You're playing PlayStation 4 emulator. You probably don't own the game. Maybe you don't. Well, maybe you do. You don't know. That's not up for you to judge. This is not I'm not here to talk about piracy, what's right, what's wrong. I am here to talk about strictly emulation. Because guess what? One thing about emulation, it is here to save all these games that are going to get erased. Because believe, when these servers go down, you will have nowhere to play your game. You think it's funny until that server shut down and you can't play your game. There was a lot of people, I remember when the original Xbox, when they cut off support for that, and all the people that were playing Halo that were upset, they were still playing Halo. Who's to say they can't? That's the difference about old Nintendo games for old farts like myself. Okay, we played those Nintendo games. Guess what? I didn't have to worry about server turning off. As long as my Nintendo worked, the cartridge worked, I'm gonna be playing forever. Super Nintendo was like that, but we got to this day and age where there was requirements for online and multiplayer gameplay. And now look, we've come to this where I see emulators and I jump for joy. Because the first thing I think is there's somebody out there right now with a mega gaming PC. Their brother's got the PlayStation 4 in their room and they want to play and they can't play. And guess what? He can go ahead and play it on his mega PC and his brother can eat ass. My bad. I got a little personal to drink. It's getting lower. So I'm getting a little more angry. It's light liquor. Light makes me fight. Dark mellows me out. So I'm going to go to some of these comments because I was missing the comments when I start getting it. Now, I'm going to read from the article on this, but I want to get to. So, love modding and emulators. Shout out my man Josh Drake. Who doesn't? You know what I mean? There's some people who say they don't. You're lying. You're lying if you say don't. Mine's still running a 1070, but I stick to console now. Nice. Hannah Montana gamers, the best of both. Oh man, y'all something else, man. Y'all something else. Let me pull this back up because I'm gonna get to the article now. So let's go ahead and talk about this PlayStation 4 emulator. Let's pull it up. So Obliteration is a work in progress PlayStation 4 emulator for Linux Windows. And this is by The Guardian. Shout out. And this is from Wololo.net. They do great work. Man, I actually retweet a lot of this stuff from Twitter. They've liked my posts. I've seen them follow me, a lot of things. So shout out Willow Low. All right. But it says, I'll admit we've been reluctant to talk about yet another PlayStation 4 emulator, in particular, since this one currently does less than the existing competition. Now, the existing competition, if we type it in right now, right? Somebody probably beat me to it. Somebody gonna beat me to it in the chat? Nope. Yeah, I got it up on screen there. Boom, 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 boom. And I thought it was just a PlayStation 4 emulator. But okay, I thought it was just called PS4 Emulator. I thought that's what it's called. Is it called PS4 Simulator? Excuse me. PS4 Simulator. Am I wrong? Am I wrong on that? Somebody tell me. But I think it's PS4 Emulator. All right, and correct me on that if I'm wrong. I don't mind, shutting the hell up and listening to y'all. But this is not to undermine the work of the developer behind this project, simply that we are waiting for more significant progress to talk about it. However, the more the merrier, I guess. And other folks in the scene have sent us a signal that it matters. Okay. And I'm going to tell you, I think the reason people sent the signal that it matters, because I heard, I'm not sure about this, but the other emulator, the other PlayStation 4 emulator that was around, either development is not as rapid or there's no development going on for it. So when you have something else come along that someone's actively working on, that is great. I'm sorry. That is promise. You love to hear that, because that lets you know right there, hey, we got someone working on it. We might get some new features. Okay. So, hi, everyone. I would like to introduce what I'm currently working on is a new PlayStation 4 emulator named Obliteration that derived from Kai Tai. Is that it? Kai Tai. So let's look up Kai Tai right now. We do it all together. Kai Tai PS4, right? There we go. So this is it right here. The PlayStation 4 emulator. And it said the project is in its early stages. Now, what's the latest release on this? So the latest release seems like it was August 18th. So, not many updates, but emulators don't need a lot of updates depending on, what's running or what's compatible at the time. So that may be. Now, I want to get to checks. Now, I don't want to mistake myself on any of it either. Okay. It's a work in progress. Like he said, no games working at the moment. All right. Work in progress only. But from a recent commits on KYTY, is it Kai Tai? Kai Tai. It looked like the author shift focus to PS5 instead of PlayStation 4. I'm a Linux user, and I want a PlayStation 4 emulator that also works on Linux. I want an emulator that 100% open sourced and use a permissive license like MIT. I want to experiment Rust on a console emulator. Bam. Now that's dope. And I'll just give you a quick look so you kind of see it. Like I said, no games running on it currently. Features built-in package file support for fake package files, which we all know about these. If you don't know, there's different documents out there, articles I posted on my Facebook page about the PKGs. You can learn about those fake package files. But system requirements, all you would need is a Windows 10 system and a CPU that supports Windows 10 or Linux system. Linux, it can be 32 or 64, but Windows must be 64-bit. CPU that supports all of the instructions on PS4 CPU. All modern Intel AMD CPUs should meet this requirement. Nice. Okay, so this is the video right here. This video, I like to always go to the YouTube, shout them out, and give the props. They know how to do that, even on my Facebook. I'm not playing your video. Okay, I don't want none of that smoke. Okay, but my man Brutal Sam, shout out Brutal Sam. Okay, you can check out the video in its entirety of them testing it right here. So Brutal Sam, shout out to you. Nice for you put that video up for everyone to enjoy. Right? Okay, now pull me back up on big screen. So I'm gonna ask everybody right now. PS4 emulator, a new one. Should we care? Should I be talking about news like this? Because many times I wonder, is it a waste of time? Me talking about emulators, it don't have any games for it, but I want to include modding news too. There's a lot of other news I could have included, but I figured, I don't want to just kill it with modding news. Okay, I don't want to kill it, but nonetheless, that's to y'all. So let's go ahead